All right, guys. Well, I'm back today taking a look at a very impressive high value and modular 22 long rifle can from the company SDTA. This is their M22 suppressor, and it was just released in 2025, and it is an absolutely awesome high value new offering this year. It's made out of titanium and aluminum, has an up to 5.7 rating, and it is very modular with the addition of the aluminum baffle stack. We're going to be talking about the specs and features of this can. It's sound performance down at the range, but let's start off by talking about that MSRP of $299. A lot of cans on the market can't even come anywhere near this price point, let alone come near this price point with the specs and features that this can has, making it an absolutely awesome high value option in the 22 long rifle world. Now, the M22 suppressor has a few different components we're going to be talking about, but before we do, I want to talk a little bit about some housekeeping. One is the fact that we're going to start Suppressor Saturdays, and this is the first iteration of that. So welcome to the channel. If you're new here, we're going to talk a lot about suppressors on different Saturdays, and that's due to the fact that the popularity is ever growing because wait times are next to nothing. What used to take 10 to 12 months now takes about 2 to 3 days, and at the long end, 2 to 3 weeks. And with the language coming into a lot of House and Senate bills, we have the potential to remove suppressors from the NFA registry, or at the very least, potentially remove the $200 tax stamp portion. You guys can make that possible by calling your senators and congressmen and urging them to include that language in some of the upcoming bills. With that being said, let's talk about the specs and features of the SDTA M22 suppressor. The first thing I want to talk about is actually the general overview and the different components that are in this suppressor, starting with the threaded portion that goes onto your barrel, and this is threaded 1/28. Now that is connected to a titanium blast chamber and the first titanium blast baffle. This is what allows the suppressor to be rated up to 5.7 as well as 22 TCM, and that is going to be semi-auto only on those two calibers, but you're going to have FA ratings on 22 long rifle. Now this is really nice, especially at the price point, because a lot of 22 long rifle suppressors are not rated for 5.7. The pressures are just too great. But with that titanium blast chamber and first blast baffle, it contains most of that explosion right in the front and protects your aluminum baffles from degradation and wear over time, and I love that feature about this can. From there, they are using 7075 hard anodized coated aluminum baffles, and this is much better than 6061 T6 aluminum. 7075 is going to give you almost just as lightweight feel, but a much more durable and stronger rating, and I love what they've done. Past that initial blast baffle, you do have the aluminum baffles and then the end cap aluminum baffle. And all of these are removable and modular. In its longest configuration, you are looking at this can right at about 5.5 inches. And its shortest configuration, you're looking at a can about 2.6 inches. If you want to pretend you're James Bond and thread this on the end of one of those PPK 22s, or maybe even like the Ruger LCP and have it in a micro pocket configuration, this can do it. If you're worried about stealth and silence on a squirrel hunt where you don't want to disturb your neighbors, put it in the long configuration and go to town. The sound performance is phenomenal, and I hope the intro shows you guys the different performance of this, but I'm going to run that again real quick and show you guys the different sound configurations in long, kind of medium, short, and then completely short capped off at the end. So you can see the can does really well in all the configurations, and on top of that, I actually ran the can wet in the shortest configuration, and it is nearly silent. If you drop a couple of drops of oil or water in your can and run it wet, it performs amazing. You also don't have to worry about a ton of corrosion issues with this can when running it wet, because you are running titanium and hard anodized aluminum, so that's very nice. Overall, this can has performed wonderfully with sound suppression, and it has been holding up great down at the range. On top of that, not only are these baffles modular, but they are also very easy to clean. Now, unfortunately, because of YouTube's policies, I can't show any of that on the channel, but these guys are utilizing 1 1/8 inch wrench flash on all of the baffles, and the caps are really easy to remove. Now, what I've done is snugged up a lot of different things on this can, including the end cap and titanium baffle, with some wrenches to kind of keep that locked into place, because this is the like heart and soul of the can. From there, you can adjust the length of the can by taking off one of these baffles with the wrench or just by hand and increasing the length or shortening of what you want. And then you can see the short configuration. All you do is thread on that end cap aluminum baffle right past that titanium blast baffle, and now you have the short configuration, which is just absolutely awesome. It reminds me of one of those kind of pill bottle suppressors. Now, in summary, this thing is awesome. It's been working out great down at the range, and you can get under a 116 decibel rating shooting 22 long rifle CCI standard velocity with an 18-inch bolt action. In the intro, I was running this on a lever action, and outside of filming, I've actually run this on a bolt action 22 with CCI quiets, and this thing is nearly silent. The action is louder than the rounds going off. It's pretty much a do-all can that's 5.7 rated, which again is absolutely awesome. Lightweight design and an MSRP of $299. For me, there's nothing to really hate on. I love this can. I think you will too. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Have you been getting into the NFA recently? Have you been purchasing these items? Or are you waiting for that magical time that could potentially be in the future after some of these bills pass? Thanks for watching. Thanks to SDTA for sending this out to the channel. They reached out to me on Instagram, asked if I wanted to take a look at them. I said, absolutely. The M22 looks awesome. Hopefully, we'll be trying out more stuff in the future. Have a good one.